I actually originally wrote this the same day you uploaded your Depression Chamber video and began your downward spiral. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the reminder. I thought I'd resend it since it's still relevant. I'll add an update at the end. Hello, Mumkey. I'm not sure if I'm depressed, but I know for sure that I am a sick and disgusting person and I hate myself for it. What you are about to hear are things that I have never admitted to anyone, so I'm not sure how this email will turn out. This will be less of a story and more of just me confessing to my weird and almost disturbing interests and obsessions. I'll just start this off by saying I fucking love Guro. Isn't that a Mortal Kombat character? Nothing wrong with loving him, right?
I think that's Guro.
Yeah, Guro, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has like 5 arms or some shit, right? That's not so bad. I fucking love Guro! It's not a sexual thing for me. I just really like seeing anime girls getting brutalized / killed. What, in Mortal Kombat, I assume? I didn't know there were... How many anime girls are in that game? Like 5, 6?
Something like that,
yeah. You know, Guro just goes and beats the fuck out of him. He's the final boss of the game. I don't know how to explain it, but I just like the feeling it gives me. I honestly feel sick just typing this out, but it's true. Okay, all jokes aside. If he's just looking at fucking drawings or whatever, you know, I'll make the Digibro pony defense on this one. At least you're not looking up actual brutal imagery of real life people getting killed and jerking off to that shit. Yeah. That's when you should probably get some serious help. If it's some fucking drawn thing, like, sure, you're probably a big weirdo, but you could be worse off. Like, yeah. Biggs is into weirder shit, so don't worry about it. I honestly feel sick just typing this out, but it's true. Although what worries me even more is that if I saw a cute real-life girl getting the shit beat out of her, I would get that same feeling. Okay, well, I take back what I said a minute ago. Uh-oh. The weird thing about this is I know for a fact I would never hurt anyone or anything. I am so non-violent that I refuse to even kill bugs. I'm so non-racist, I'm friends with a Mexican, you know? It's,
Fair enough.
It's how it works. But the fact that I get some weird pleasure out of seeing cute girls in broken states like that, it's kind of scary to me. Okay, to pause again. If you've been paying attention to our Pokemon Let's Play, we were talking about how we watch a compilation called Les Lesbian, which is just it's a compilation of random internet videos.
Right.
And we were discussing about how I get special pleasure from the random clips of like women getting like hit with surfboards and like falling down and stuff. So maybe I wrote this story while I was drunk. I don't know. I also enjoy watching people get hurt, especially when they're cute girls. Does that make me a Guro obsessed man? I'm gonna have to start playing Mortal Kombat and find out.
Let's look at your search history.
Oh, I delete that every fucking day, buddy. Good luck with that one.
Just use incognito then if you don't want anybody to ever see it.
Yeah, but I don't like the dark mode. I like my light mode, dude.
Wow, what's wrong with the color black?
Because in the black, then I can see the reflection of myself while I'm jerking off, and I can see my own shame. I need the bright screen to hide my shame.
Just turn on your studio lights.
Oh, God. Okay, where were we? But the fact that I get some weird pleasure out of seeing cute girls in broken states like that is kind of scary to me. Like, I mean, at least I'm not a furry. I guess so it could be worse. Okay. 1,000 skeletons, thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription. This next thing is pretty standard in the Depression Chamber, but I thought I'd mention it since my situation is slightly different. Like many other people in the chamber, I have an unhealthy obsession with a girl, but luckily my extreme social anxiety keeps me from ever interacting with her. We actually used to hate each other because in my freshman year I had a very mild mental breakdown on social media that got me suspended. Let's just say she wasn't a huge fan of the things I said, and I might have implied that she should kill herself. This was long before I developed feelings for her, but it's really the only history I have with her, so I thought it would be worth mentioning. I have no idea if she still hates me for that retarded shit, but she seems to have forgotten about it. Not that it really matters anyway. She's adorable, and I just want to cuddle her. If she still hates me and wants to slap me and call me an asshole, I'd probably enjoy it because I'm a freaky little goblin. Okay, so this next part is where both parts of my little story cross over. Basically, I have a few pictures of the girl I like that I stalked off her social media. I am also an avid collector of images of girls with bloody noses, black eyes, and shit. Okay. So it's not just fucking cartoons that she's looking at.
No, it's not.
Well, so because I'm a fucking weirdo, I decided to put the image of her into Photoshop and make her look like she had been beaten. I am genuinely ashamed of what I have created. It sounds like Frankenstein. And if she were to find out about it, who knows what she would think? Who knows? Because he broke her nose in Photoshop.
Yeah, wow.
What she would think, because she has brain damage. Because of never mind. Don't give me a half laugh out of pity.
I'll give you a full laugh out of pity.
Okay, good. Is what she would think. Maybe she's into that shit too, which would be hot as hell. Nope.
I doubt it.
Drop that fantasy right now.
0.0001% chance.
Less than that.
Yeah.
Divide that by 100. Also, on a side note, I do not condone the actions of Asperger or anyone who actually beats women. Wow, what a powerful stance to take on the internet. He does not condone the actions of Asperger.
He jerks off to this stuff, but what he did, nope, that's too far.
Well, I think it's personally, I think it's really brave of him to admit he does not condone the beating of women. You know what? That's a brave stance to take in 2019.
Yeah, maybe it's he likes them like falling down the stairs, that kind of beaten state.
Well, let's find out. I like seeing women get beaten in a fictional context, but I do not enjoy the act of beating them. Hey, don't knock it till you try it. You know what I'm saying, brother? Just thought I'd let that out. Anyway, so now that I have this fucking photo of her looking like she just got done with an Asperger session, and part of me wants to get rid of it, but the other part of me wants to add it to the collection. Why the hell am I like this? Interesting, he did not send us this photo so we could judge for ourselves. I think that was a mistake. Anyway. Sorry for making you read my autistic little ramble if you even finished it. I wouldn't blame you if you stopped reading due to the nature of my story. I've never admitted any of this to anyone, so I'm not sure how you in the chat will react. I will most likely be watching the VOD since I can rarely make it to live streams. Anyway, I love the content you make and I hope I didn't freak you out too much. Buddy, you'll never freak me out. The chat, I can't control them. They'll probably freak out. I've never read anything in these that made me freak out. I don't know if I could possibly give that much of a shit.
We've seen way worse.
Yeah. We've been friends with way worse, buddy.
Yeah.
Trust me, you ain't got nothing. Anyway, here's a little update since this is an old story. Since then, I have graduated high school and haven't seen the girl in question since. From what I've heard, she is pumping herself up with testosterone now, so I'd say I'm not that into her anymore. Also, I'm now a NEET with no future plans. No, my wrist was feeling a little. I just wanted I needed to stretch it a little bit.
Good.
With no future plans, which is honestly all I really wanted. I basically just stay in my little goblin cave all day, hidden away from the rest of society. I like to think I'm doing the world a favor by secluding myself because nobody should be forced to deal with me. I'm glad to hear that the Depression Chamber is coming back, and I am excited to see you in the chat's reaction to my degeneracy. Drop the Guro stuff? Yeah, that's probably some good advice.
Call the police.
If you have the self-awareness to know that you're into some fucked up shit, then you should have the self-awareness to be able to maybe get into some vanilla shit so that you don't poison every prospective relationship by photoshopping them with bloody noses and then fucking coming on it. I don't know, maybe that'd be healthier for your brain. You think?
No, we should go with Classy Star's advice. Become the Joker.
That's the answer to all of these.
Just kill the cutie pie.
Okay, here's a new one. I have been... ... really, really depressed for nearly 15 years now. It's been a near constant struggle, but I didn't really see it as it was until like 3 years ago. Life is hell, man. Hear me out, Mumkey. I want to tell you how I got to this point. In mid-2012, I had graduated high school and I was so happy and innocent. Unknowing of most of the ... tribulations that adulthood had ahead. I decided that for college, I'd stay with my grandmother and, you know, help her out and attend classes and stuff. Had a plan of action moving forward and things looked good. But the longer I was with my grandmother, the more my mental state started to break down. I didn't at all understand what was going on looking at it in hindsight, and that is what scared me the most. See, Grandma has BPD, borderline personality disorder, and it makes her hard to deal with long term. It's like, how she words things when talking to you. Like, instead of, oh, hey, if you can, could you help me do XXX before you finish
Ooh.
this? Yeah.
Why is your grandma asking you to do that?
Yeah, man. I stopped doing XXX with my grandma a long time ago, man. You gotta start rejecting that shit, son. And more, when you're done with that, I'll let you help me do XXX. That sounds like how your family talks to you, Biggs. Don't they just assume you're going to help them at all times?
Yeah, that's basically it.
I know that sounds like an absolute non-issue. No, it's fucking annoying. It's an issue. But it grinds on you because, well, you can't exactly call her out on manipulative wording since she is your grandmother. Datebayo? What is Naruto's catchphrase where he says, you know? Datebayo? How do you say that in fuck it. He said, you know. I almost said Spanish when I meant Japanese. Other things she would do is just constantly talk about negative things and never cease talking about them. She could go on for hours upon hours just saying the bad things that have happened to her over and over. All this while I was a freshman in college. The stress got to me badly. I had never reached this point before and just snapped. I can't snap. Can you snap? Thank you. It was raining, and I just could no longer go on further with college and dropped out. Grandmother freaked out at me when she saw some of the vent artwork I was drawing to help get out this stress healthily and assumed I was going to do something horrible, which incidentally, she caused to happen. I can't remember everything, but I remember I was just screaming, wanting to escape the situation, clawing at myself with my bare fingernails. She called the police on me and they took me to a hospital. That was the first time I had fully gone. Like uncontrolled flight or fight response with no awareness to the situation. And it certainly wouldn't be the last. After that, I stayed with a girlfriend for a while, but that fell apart with another psychotic break that landed me in a mental hospital. These horrible, horrible experiences have left me with so many mental scars that I have entire swaths of memories I do everything in my power to suppress. Mumkey, it's hard. It's really, really hard. And I constantly have suicidal thoughts that just remind me of these mistakes and hurtful events. So much so that it feels like touching a hot piece of metal every time one of these memories just barely skims across my mind. Life feels like an unwinnable uphill battle from where I'm at, man. I haven't been able to hold a job. I cloister myself from my friends thinking that all of them would be happier if I just never say anything to any of them. There are times I have come so dang close to doing it. Life just feels worthless. I know better, but all this stuff just weighs on you, and I have this horrible feeling that life just ain't worth going on anymore. I used to have dreams and aspirations, but they're all gone now. I've been a fan of your content since back when you were still Mumkey Jones. I don't know if you'll do this one on your Twitch channel, but I hope you will. Your fan, Metal. It sounds genuinely like, out of respect for his elders, he is driving himself to insanity. If your grandmother is emotionally abusive and manipulative, don't see her as your grandmother, see her as your abuser. Blood is not thicker than water when water is the water that keeps your brain fucking afloat, my friend. Fuck that shit. And the same thing with the previous story with the abusive dad and brother. Family does not come first when the family is fucking you over. If they're driving you crazy, they're not your fucking family. Go get a Biggs. Biggs is my new fucking family. Who needs the rest of them? Patchy in the chat, he's a dickhead. I hate that kid. I told him to bring me a Coke last night from McDonald's. He got one for himself and not fucking me. What? Biggs gets me a Coke all the fucking time. Hey. Don't put up with abuse, no matter who it's from, no matter how old they are. You don't have to respect your elders if they don't respect you. Respect is a two-way fucking street, and anybody who says otherwise is straight up wrong, and you don't have to put up with that horse shit. I'm sick of it. Alright, here's another short story. Hey Mumkey, I can already tell the chat is probably gonna get interesting after I mention this first fact about me, but whatever. I'm a young, in bold letters, I'm a young, i.e. under 18, transgender female who's currently just going through a major 2 to 3 year bout of depression, anxiety, loneliness, you name it. Mainly, I've been having to deal with my transphobic and hateful parents who always love to scream and yell at everyone and everything. Why are you fucking laughing?
They're spamming trap. That's hot.
Oh, I thought you were laughing at the story. Okay. My very long distance relationship of 4 months, which is the only real communication with another human being I have now, and my crippling loneliness and isolation from people in the outside world, people not on the internet, as well as extreme gender dysphoria. I've tried to escape to my girlfriend's place of residence, but I was found out and got my ass handed to me again. Parents tried to brainwash and manipulate me into breaking up with her, into thinking that I was going to make my parents devastated and upset, even though I know that they clearly don't give a fuck about me. I just think that they don't want their shady tactics exposed for people to see. I've tried to kill myself on multiple occasions, those being me trying to slit my throat wide open, trying to blow my brains out with a loaded gun, etc. Though, judging by you being able to read this, you can already tell that I didn't have the balls to do it. Is that a pun? Is that supposed to be a joke? Either way.
I'm going to laugh at it either way.
Yeah, that's a good one. I tried to contact a few hotlines to see if I could get some form of help or guidance, but I got jack shit from it all. Same from school counselors who just didn't take me seriously one bit. I just want an escape. I can feel the few bits of happiness still left in me being sucked from my fucking soul. I just don't know what to do from this point forward. I want to get out of here and possibly seek emancipation, but I know that probably won't happen. Nothing good ever really happens to me that much anymore. I just want at least some form of guidance, some form of consolation. My girlfriend is the only person I talk to anymore. My friends are gone, everything I had before all of this is gone. What the fuck do I do from here on out? I'm lost at this point, I really am. Yours, Ariel. P.S. I know you're not one to mention or play with LGBTQ plus topics and stuff. I just thought I had to mention it since it's a really big contributing factor to my struggles. And that's that one. Well, with the other stories, it was pretty easy to give the advice to cut your toxic family out, but in this instance, it's an underage person who is stuck living with the abusive family, so it makes it about 100,000 times more difficult, doesn't it? What do you do? What do you do, Biggs? Well, Biggs, you moved out before you were 18, right?
Yeah, I moved out when only 17.
Well, yeah. But that wasn't probably very easy.
It was pretty easy. One day I got really mad, and the next day I packed up my stuff and moved. Literally just left.
Yeah, well.
Probably won't be that easy for someone, I don't know how old they are, but.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as soon as you possibly can, get out of that environment. It sounds like she tried to run away to live with the girlfriend and got caught and was punished for it. In your instance, if your family tried to punish you, you would punish them right back. So, like, you just got up and left and there were no consequences.
I would have said, if you're going to try and punish me, I'm just going to move further away.
Yeah, like, what are you going to do about it?
Chase me states away? No, they wouldn't even chase me streets away.
Yeah, man, if you think you're experiencing genuine child abuse, the government will help you. Am I wrong? Like, if you're being literally abused, emotionally or physically, you are able to get out of that situation. Unfortunately, I feel like if they don't send you to a different relative, you'll end up in, like, foster care or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's much better, especially... I can't imagine the amount of people going through transitions, going through foster care is very good on them.
No, you probably don't get all the hormones and shit that you probably need.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Sounds like you just need to get sneakier and actually run away to live with his girlfriend. Like, fuck your family. You don't owe them shit. The way they treat you, you don't owe them fucking shit. Pack a bag, 3 a.m, and get a bus ticket and get the fuck out of there. If that's what you think you need to do. You only live one life. Like, YOLO, I know it's a meme, but it's also a statement of fact. You only live one life. Why waste it with people who despise you when you could run away and be with somebody who loves you? Right? Just fuck. Right. Do you want to be, an old woman at the age of 80 looking back on your life and think, man, I sure am glad I stayed in that abusive house for so long? Fuck no, you're going to think, thank God I moved the fuck out at age 16 and lived my life. right? Think about what you on your deathbed would want you to do. That's what I do. That's why I do crazy shit all the time. I don't want to think back and be like, I sure did live a lame life. I'm glad I picked the most boring choices every day. Fuck that. Get the hell out of there.
I have some bad news. I feel like I'm doing that.
Hey, you're streaming on the internet. That's fun.
That's true.
How many people can say they read depression stories and gotten upwards of 100 viewers?
In like my normie life, I feel like I'm doing that a lot.
Well, I don't know how deep you want to get into it, but you told me you're thinking about finding a new job. I mean, that's a pretty big step in increasing your own happiness, right?
Yeah.
You're recognizing you're not happy where you're working, and you say, "Fuck this shit! I'm taking my life back into my own hands."
Right.
Yeah. You can become a full-time YouTuber. Our Let's Play channel makes an upwards of $40 a month. You'll be raking in the dough.
Yeah, there'll definitely be enough to cover the bills.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it'll cover the food bills for sure.
I'll just start streaming, you know, come on guys, I need this money for my bills.
I wanted it so fucking bad.
I wanted it so bad.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Oh, this one's really short. I am glad to have the chance to vent this story of mine in such a manner, and I thank you for this opportunity. My depression story has been an ongoing battle since I was rather young. My friends abandoned me regularly. My wrist was getting a little sore again.
You want to talk about what we were talking about earlier?
No. My sister beat me up whenever she wanted to vent her own pain, and I was even nearly stabbed to death at school. Throughout my childhood, I tried many ways to voice my pleas for something to be done about any of these individuals that harmed me, if at all, but none got into trouble. And the blame was always put on myself, as I was considered an enabler of the attacks. That is fucking toxic reasoning coming from your counselors and shit. You're enabling getting bullied. What is he, Psy? It got to the point where, at the middle of my teenage years, I stopped trusting anyone altogether. I shut myself away and pushed out others who actually wanted to help solely because I was afraid they would hurt me like those that did in the past. The suffering led into my adulthood, and when I started opening up to others again, I was subjected to more of what I was afraid of, along with people manipulating me for personal gain because I was too afraid to fight back. It has been almost 4 years since I have last had a real-life friend. I've relegated myself to forums and chat rooms just to talk to others at all. Again, I thank you for this opportunity. It's cathartic knowing I can share my story without backlash with your help. And that is from insert real full name here. So, Biggs, do you have experience with the people you trust betraying you and hurting you more than you could possibly imagine? Other than me?
Oh, you just physically hurt me. I don't think you mentally hurt me at all.
I told you to put more lube on my dick.
I don't know. Like, honestly, I think I've had it pretty good with family and stuff being decent to me. I mean, you have your usual, like, family stuff where it's like stupid things come up and you argue for a little bit, but then you get over it. So I don't think I've really had any moments where it's like, you know, one of my close friends or family like super stabbed me in the back and I was like super like broken over it.
Well, it sounds like he was even betrayed by the system in place. Even his trusted adults while he was a child just said it was his fault that he was getting picked on.
Yeah, well,
you know, what do you do when society betrays you?
See, what I did throughout school, like, of course I got bullying and I didn't really care. Like, I just ignored it. And I think for the most part that helped me, but...
You can say you have some thick skin.
But, I think I never even went to the counselors about it because I already knew they were going to be useless. Like, what's the point in going to someone for help if you know they're just not going to help at all?
Every time I talked to the counselors, it was because they either thought I was going to kill myself or kill other people. So every time they were just full of shit. So I don't know how anybody would ever expect to be helped by a school counselor. They're fucking useless. There's a reason why they went into school counseling and not therapy. Because they were not good enough at it. If they could get paid $100K a year, don't you think they would? There's a reason why they're on the government payroll for $23 grand a year, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
What do you get when you cross a Hispanic Biggs with a society who makes fun of him for being fat?
You get Mexican Joker from South Park.
Yeah.
Can't trust the school faculty since they treat like a lesser being. Their superiority complex is fucked. Yeah, anybody who gets paid less than 40 grand a year, if they have any sense of ego or entitlement or superiority at all, just say okay boomer and laugh at them. Like, fuck off. Fuck off. Something that I think a bitter pill everybody has to swallow is that in real life is not like a movie or like a book or like any fictional world where there's always going to be justice and a happy ending and the people who hurt you get punished. In reality, you have to accept that there will never be any justice. People who ruined your life will almost always get away with it scot-free, and all you can do is power through it and dedicate yourself to being better than them. And the only justice you get in reality is to live a good life and be happy despite what the people who want to hurt you try to do. That's the best revenge you can get, is being happy and successful in spite of the people who tried to ruin you.
Yeah, big thing, especially like when I was growing up, we were pretty poor, so most of what we did was like watching TV and like movies and stuff. So I grew up with this idea that at one point in my life, it would be like the driving off into the sunset, happy, you know.
That's you every time you drive to my house.
Well, yeah, but besides that.
Okay.
And then like as I got older, it like started to come down, like just crushing down on me, like this is never gonna happen. You have to make that happen somehow. And there's still a possibility it won't happen. I don't know. You just gotta work towards it every day if you want it.
And if you want to get that like driving off into the sunset moment, your life is never going to have a paradigm shift that big. Try to be happy on a small individual basis every single day, and then you're not going to have a magical moment where everything suddenly becomes sunshine and rainbows.
It's not like where you hit a climax of a movie and then everything's just going to change like that.
Like that, the Nicolas Cage movie Bad Lieutenant. I swear to God, there's like a scene 3/4 through the movie where every single problem that Nick Cage is having just gets solved within 2 minutes. And I'm thinking, who wrote this fucking garbage? This movie's terrible. Who wrote this? Basically, just don't get your hopes up.
That's probably the biggest part of it.
I think be your own hope. Don't rely on others. Don't expect your parents to fucking come through when they've been shitty people their whole lives. Just be better in spite of them.